So I got good news and I got bad news.
Okay.
What's
the
the bad news?
You want bad news first, or you want
Yep.
the good news first?
Bad news always goes first.
Okay. First off, even before I get to good news, bad news, don't forget that the 12-1 homework is due, was supposed to be due on Friday, so it'll be due today then. You can put that up
Yep.
here on the pile.
I got it done.
Okay. So, bad news is the quiz that is scheduled for March 10th, which is next week Friday, not this week Friday, but next week Friday. That quiz is now 4 pages long.
What?
Okay?
How did it be 4 pages long?
Because it was 2 pages long, but now it's 4 pages long.
Well, what you
Okay.
added those?
So you want the good news now?
Sure.
Yeah.
The good news is you don't have a quiz this week Friday.
Oh,
Okay?
so you just added the two together?
I combined it. Yeah. Okay. So I combined both of those quizzes. So
That's not that
I
bad.
took the quiz that you were going to have this week
Okay.
Friday and put it next week Friday on top of the quiz that you were going to have next week Friday.
It's not that bad.
I
So
guess there's nothing wrong with that.
and then that way everything after this week Friday then stays the same because we're ending at spring break at the right spot. So I didn't want to
What is spring break?
last week in March.
So,
The formative is still online this week, yes, on Wednesday. Okay? You have to go to It's Learning and take the formative on Wednesday. Yes. Okay? It's 4 questions, shouldn't take you very long. Okay? Might want to have some scratch paper with you when you do it. Okay? Okay? So, today we're going to start talking about arithmetic sequences. Tomorrow, because of ACT, we will be having class, but we will not be doing anything in class because the 12 o'clock class doesn't show up until 12:30. Okay. So it'll be work time and all that stuff. Yeah, sit around and twiddle our thumbs and find some videos on YouTube to watch. Just go to your Yep. Wednesday, same thing. So we won't. Wednesday we don't have class anyways. So you don't have to worry about that. That's why formative is online also for you. Okay? Thursday, then we will be picking up with arithmetic series. Okay? And then Friday we will be doing applications of arithmetic sequences and series. Then next week, Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday, we will be dealing with geometric sequences, series, and application problems. And then next week, Friday the 10th, we will be having a quiz on both arithmetic and geometric. So I had originally intended to have a quiz just on arithmetics and a quiz on geometrics and a third quiz, but now we'll just have 2 quizzes, and so this first quiz will be a little bit longer. Sometimes it snows. Okay? So, a typical problem in this chapter would look like this. Okay? A tall brick building has a decoration as shown. If each row is 1 foot tall, how many bricks would be in the bottom row if the wall is 15 feet tall? And how many total bricks would it take to build the wall? Okay? We can't answer those questions right now, but we will work on that this week so that when it comes to Friday, this is actually one of the examples that we're going to do on Friday. Okay? And then we're going to figure that out. We'll be able to nail it on Friday. Okay? 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 So, there are 3 key terms that we're going to need for this week. Okay? The first term is arithmetic. The second term is sequence. The third term is series. Okay? Those are our 3 key words this week. word, arithmetic, is a sequence. A sequence is just a list of numbers. Okay? That's all a sequence is. A sequence is just a list of numbers. So an arithmetic sequence has a constant difference between consecutive terms. Okay? Now, if you think about it in a different way, the word arithmetic starts with A. What other math words start with A? Adding starts with A. Okay? So an arithmetic sequence adds to get the next term. And when you're adding, you're always adding a constant. Okay? You're adding the same thing to get the next one. And the same thing to get the term after that. And after that, and after that. You're always adding a constant. Okay? So, state whether each sequence is arithmetic. Well, in the first one, to go from 3 to 7, I add 4, right? To go from 7 to 11, I add 4. 11 to 15, I'm adding 4. 15 to 19, I'm adding 4. So that is a constant. Those are all the same. I'm always adding 4. So therefore, this is an arithmetic sequence. Because that difference is the same. Can I add negative numbers? Yeah? Okay. Adding negative numbers is really what? Subtracting. Okay? Subtracting is a form of addition. So in terms of this one, I'm subtracting 5 every time, which is the same as adding negative 5 every time. So again, this is constant. So therefore, 20, 15, 10, 5 is an arithmetic sequence. Any questions on that? So, at this time, what I would like you to do is I would like you to determine if those 4 sequences are arithmetic or not. First one, arithmetic or not?
Yes.
Why?
Yes, it is. Because you're adding 10.
Adding 10 every time. Second one.
No.
Why not? Because here I'm adding 3,
Yep.
and then here I'm adding 5, and then there I'm adding 7. So that's a no. Okay. Third one.
No.
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 Okay. Because here I'm adding negative 9, then here I'm adding 18, and those two aren't the same, so that one's also a no. Fourth one.
Yes.
What are we adding every time?
Negative 12.
Negative 12. So that is a yes. Okay? So, oh yeah, that's right. I switched around this because I did not like it. I like my D out front.
Perfect.
Okay. So then we can move this down here, that, and there.
That's all.
there, that there. Okay. So, now, here's my question to you. This is the formula that we are going to use all week long. Do you think it is note card worthy?
Probably.
Yeah, especially because you will not be getting any formulas on any of your quizzes or your test because you have a note card. Okay? This term here could also, instead of being called the last term, we could call this any term. Okay? So if I'm looking for the 8th term, I would use this formula with n equals 8. Okay? If I'm looking for the 57th term, I use this formula with n as 57. Okay? So to find any term, what this is saying is you need to know the first term and the common difference. Those are the two must-haves if you're going to find any term in the sequence. Okay? Got it? Right? So, we'll write a rule for the nth term, and then we will find the 20th term. So, I'm going to do the first one, and then I got a little timer underneath there, and we'll do the second one, or you'll do the second one. You should be able to do it in under 90 seconds. Right? Last class did it actually in under a minute, so I have confidence in you. Okay? So, the rule is a sub n equals my first term plus my common difference times n minus 1. What is my first term? Oops, I should put that in a different color. 1 is my first term. What is my common difference? 2. Now, I'm okay with that as the rule because it's usable. Okay? However, I prefer if you would actually do this math and give me the rule as 2n minus 1. Okay? They both mean the exact same thing. The second one is the preferred. The first one is the easy way out. Okay? The reason the second one is preferred is because now when we're asked to find a sub 20, it's a much easier, a much cleaner input into a function. 20 times 2 is 40. 40 minus 1 is 39. So the 20th term in this sequence is 39. If you're trying to find the rule, you leave n as n, because that's going to tell you
That makes sense.
so then if you find the rule, then I can come back and I say, okay, now find the, in this case, 20th term. So now we lock n in as 1. Okay? All right? I'll give you 90 seconds. Okay. Find me the rule. find me the 20th term. So a sub n here is going to equal 6 plus, my common difference is -4 times the quantity n minus 1, or that would be 6 minus 4n plus 4, so I like better -4n plus 10. There. Okay. Then from that we need to find the 20th term, so that's going to be -4 times 20 plus 10, so that's going to be -80 plus 10 is -70. Those two are in lowercase. Questions on that one? Writing a rule, again, today is all about writing rules. Okay, writing a rule for the nth term and then finding a sub 18. Here now I give you a sub 6 is -16, so that's the 6th term in that sequence. Okay? And I'm asking to find any rule or any term in that one. Okay? So start with the rule again. A sub n is equal to a sub 1 plus d times n minus 1. But here now I don't have a sub 1, but I have a sub 6 is -16. I don't know a sub 1. I know that my common difference is 9. And because a sub 6 is -16, and I'm using that to find my first term, that then tells me that n is 6. So I can solve that equation because I'm using the 6th term as -16. Okay. So -16 equals a sub 1 plus 6 minus 1 is 5 times 9 is 45. If I subtract off 45 from both sides, I get -61 is my first term. Now that I have my first term and I have my common difference, I can say then that a sub n, any term in my sequence, is -61 plus 9 times the quantity n minus 1. Or a sub n is, this would be -61 plus 9n minus 9. A sub n would be 9n minus 70. It asked then to find a sub 18. So 9 times 18 minus 70. 9 times 18 is 162. Minus 70 is 92. you do D, again, find me the nth term, or find me the rule to find any term, and also the 18th term. So, negative 3 is going to equal, I have no idea what the first term is, plus negative 7 times 12 minus 1. So that is going to be negative 3 is going to equal my first term. Oh, that's going to be minus 77. So that's going to give me 74 as my first term. Okay. So that tells me then that my rule is going to be 74 minus 7 times n minus 1, or negative 7n plus 81. And my 18th term is going to be negative 7 times 18 plus 81. So that's going to be negative 126 plus 81. So that is, I believe, negative 45. Slow turning the page today. So, given two terms, neither one of them is the first term, okay, we need to write a rule. So, the first thing that we're going to have to do is we're going to have to write a system of equations. So, if I use my general arithmetic rule, so this would be a sub 8, which would be 21, is going to equal my first term plus the common difference times 8 minus 1. Okay, so I'm just using this one right there. So that tells me then that 21 is equal to the first term plus 7d. As in 7 times the letter d. Then I go to my next term, and now 97 is going to equal a sub 1 plus d times 27 minus 1, because it's the 27th term. So that would be 97 equals a sub 1 plus 26d. Two equations, two unknowns. What are the possible ways that I could solve that? Elimination, substitution, matrices, graphing, one more. Cramer's rule. Okay? Which way you want to solve it? Elimination. Okay? I'm going to multiply the black equation here by negative 1. That gives me 76 equals 19d. To solve that, divide both sides by 19, giving me 4 equals d. Okay? Now I can plug d equals 4 back into this equation. some reason, that little part on the board just doesn't like it. So I get -7 as my first term. Okay? So then I can write my rule now as -7 plus 4 times n minus 1, or 4n minus 11. I don't believe that we had to find an extra one. Nope. Okay. James, I got a very important question for you. Left or right? Right? Do the right one. Spot check halfway through, okay, in the red. Does it make sense there that D is positive?
Yeah.
Why does it make sense that D is positive?
Because here, here's -2 and here's 17.
If the later term is much bigger than the first term, or the third term, so we have to be adding something there. Yes, exactly. Okay? So because our terms are going up, our D has to be positive. Okay? Which also means then that our first term is going to have to be smaller than our third term. A couple of quick spot checks that you can make halfway through to make sure that you're on the right track. Okay? Logic. Never hurts.
Couldn't you check it though? Plugging in the numbers.
You could also check it, yes, by plugging in 3 for n,
Yeah.
and getting -2, and plugging in 17 for n and getting 40. Yep.
And then if it works, then you know you're right.
Trent, did that answer all of your questions?
Oh, I was just gonna ask, like, to find the rate, can you just do like A17 minus A3 to get A14? And then I took the difference between -2 and 40, and just found the rate.
That works for arithmetic ones, yes, but that will not work next week in geometry. Yes. Okay. Sure. Come on now. There it is. For some reason, it does not want to change slides today.
It's like, tired. That long break, I tell you what.
So this is due on Thursday. Okay. I don't remember which ones it is. It's asking you to find the rule and then graph it, but you don't have to do the graphing part of it. I just want you to find the rule.
And then we'll double check 3 through 18. It's all come off.
All of everything is multiples of 3. And this is 12.2a homework. Okay? Because there will be a 12.2b homework and a 12.2c homework. So this is A, B, and C.